Philadelphia Eagles training camp is right around the corner, and in the months leading up to it, a handful of players have really put the NFL on notice, as these Eagles have been dominating during the offseason, whether it's been at OTAs, minicamp, or just with their individual workouts, and that includes some of the Bird's biggest stars, along with some young up-and-coming playmakers, and a few sleepers as well. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 13 Philadelphia Eagles who have dominated during the NFL offseason, so let's get started right now. So as of right now, it is currently summer break in Philadelphia, as the Eagles just wrapped up their spring training period this past week with their lone practice of mandatory minicamp, that being on June 10th. And of course, they also had 6 individual on-field practices during OTAs before that as well. So obviously, a lot of news reports and information has come out over these past several weeks, all of which I've covered here on this channel, and I'm going to be doing the same thing for training camp, so make sure you guys subscribe and you turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. But as I was saying, a ton of new developments have come out this spring during OTAs and minicamp, and in particular, a bunch of players have really stood out and have given fans a reason to be excited ahead of training camp. So let's start out with the face of the Eagles franchise and leader of the team and quarterback Jalen Hurts, as a lot has been made about how he's looked during the Eagles practices in both OTAs and in minicamp. As when it was all said and done, the media was present at 3 total practices, and in those practices, Hurts was surgical, as he went 50 for 55 on his throws, along with a touchdown and also no interceptions. And yes, look, obviously, practices in the spring with no live contact can only tell you so much, but you gotta admit, it's awesome to hear that Hurts has been lighting it up at practice, and also that he's improved dramatically as a practice player in recent years. As according to the guy who keeps track of all these stats, that being reporter Elliot Shore-Parks, Hurts is clearly processing and reading the defense much quicker than he used to, and is just overall playing the quarterback position much more efficiently in practice.
Having watched all of Jalen's practices since he was drafted back in 2020, you can really see in practice the difference in him now as a quarterback versus obviously as a rookie. Like he just plays the position so much better even now than he did probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago in practice, I remember talking on air with you guys about it. Like he would hold on to the ball so much. There would be so many 7-on-7 reps where he would hold on to the ball. And in 7-on-7, the ball should never be held like that. And it was happening 4 or 5 times a practice. Now he barely ever holds the ball. If there's nothing there, he is dumping the ball down, getting rid of it. And that just wasn't happening. I remember as a rookie, like players laughing at him during the drill, being like, throw the ball. And obviously that's a rookie. He's a far way away from that now. But you can just see how much better he is at playing the position of quarterback now than he was, again, like 2 years ago even.
Again, obviously, it's only spring practice, so you can't read too much into it. But to hear that Hurts has significantly improved at reading the defense and just getting rid of the ball faster, even if it is just in practice, is definitely awesome to hear. And a great sign moving forward because, you know, if it's happening in practice, it's only a matter of time before it really starts consistently translating during games as well. And personally, I just cannot wait to see what QB1 has in store for 2025 because I feel like he still just has so much room to grow. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Bear Mattress. Right now, you can actually go to bearmattress.com/PhillyFan and use promo code PhillyFan at checkout to get a whopping 40% off your new mattress. Now, Bear has been improving people's sleep quality, health, and recovery for over 25 years. So if you're looking to upgrade your mattress and get better, more comfortable sleep, then Bear is perfect for you. And it's super easy and convenient to get started as well. Just go to the Bear website and take their completely free sleep quiz that's going to ask you things like your weight, age, sleeping position, and preferred mattress firmness, and it'll eventually match you with the mattress that is perfect for you, and once you order, it'll be shipped right to your door for free in the US. Now, for me, I was recommended the Bear Elite Hybrid with medium firmness, so I was sent a twin, and once I got it all unboxed and set it up and was able to test it out, I could tell right away that I was going to love this mattress, and now, a few weeks later, I can confidently say that I was right. I mean, the thing's just so darn comfortable, way more comfortable than my last mattress, and it also definitely stays cooler than my last one did, as it's made with Celliant-powered fabric that helps the mattress stay cool all night long. And honestly, I just feel like I wake up with a little more energy than I used to as well. So again, I love it, but I'm not the only one who is extremely satisfied. As Bear recently conducted a survey of 300 customers, and 82% of them said that their sleep quality had improved, while 95% of them said that they would recommend it to a friend. Plus, on top of that, their mattresses are very health conscious as they're made without any harmful chemicals or detrimental fiberglass, which can cause skin irritation or respiratory issues. They also offer payment plans to make it more affordable. And they also have a limited lifetime warranty and a 120-night sleep trial to make sure you love your new mattress. But I'm gonna be real, guys, like, I doubt you're gonna be disappointed because I think this thing is the best mattress that I've ever had. And again, I got an awesome deal for you, as you can go to bearmattress.com/PhillyFan and use code PhillyFan at checkout to get 40% off your new mattress. And also, make sure to support the channel and let them know that I sent you in their post-purchase survey. And again, a huge thank you to Bear Mattress for sponsoring today's video. So moving on, while guys like Hurts were dominating out on the practice field at OTAs and minicamp, QB1's favorite target in A.J. Brown was dominating off it, as yes, while I'm sure he was great as per usual in practice, Brown has really caught people's attention with what he's done on his own this offseason, as his training has just been on another level, whether it's him posting videos of himself in the pool swimming and going hard there as a form of training, or it's him just pushing himself to exhaustion in the gym, both on his own and also at what has been labeled as America's most dangerous gym, which I would say that isn't actually dangerous, but it's just a super intense workout environment where you know that you're going to be pushed to your limit. And then, of course, we also got a recent video of AJ running stairs and training at Lincoln Financial Field with fellow Birds wide receiver Anaya Smith. So overall, it's pretty obvious that AJ has been extremely locked in this offseason, and he's ready to go out there, dominate, and win another Super Bowl this season. But moving on, A.J. Brown isn't the only Eagles wide receiver who has had an impressive offseason. As with A.J. and Devontae Smith not practicing very often this spring, former Commanders wideout Jahan Dotson has really been turning heads, with reporter Jeff McLean recently writing, quote, "Jahan Dotson benefited the most and was often Hurts' first outlet. He caught every pass I logged in the 3 open workouts. He didn't see the ball very much in his first season with the Eagles for various reasons, but the former Washington Commanders first-round draft pick, who is playing in the last year of his rookie contract, has consistently flashed reliable hands. He could be pivotal if Hurts is forced to throw more this season." Now, personally, I love the sound of that, and I've said this offseason that I do think Dotson is going to have a better year this year than he did last year, simply because this season he's going to have the benefit of having gone through an entire offseason with this team and already having some chemistry with Jalen Hurts and the rest of the guys, as opposed to last season where he literally got traded here weeks before the season started. So based on that, it certainly sounds to me like he's getting much more comfortable in this Eagles offense, and with the slate of opponents the Eagles have, it looks like they might have to pass the ball a bit more than they did last year. So I think Dotson could really benefit from that as well, and I just overall cannot wait to see what he has in store for the 2025 season. Moving on to another Eagles receiver though, perhaps the biggest surprise there is former Panther and Raider Terrace Marshall, as he's apparently been a really reliable target with both the second and first team offenses throughout the spring, and he's really been making an early push for a roster spot, especially with his performance in minicamp specifically, as reporter Jeff Kerr recently noted, quote, "Marshall got open over the middle of the field for a long gain early in a 7-on-7 period with the first team, and then he caught a touchdown pass from Hurts on a slant in which he beat Cooper DeJean. Behind A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jahan Dotson, there are 2 spots to be had amongst the wide receiver group. Marshall may be locking down one of them." So based on that, it certainly does sound like Marshall has really been impressing during the spring, and I'll be interested to see if he in fact can earn a roster spot come training camp. Moving on though, we switch over from a possible hidden gem in Marshall to one of the team's biggest names and superstars in running back Saquon Barkley, as of course coming off a 2,000-yard season where he broke multiple records and had possibly the greatest season for a running back of all time. Everyone's kind of been wondering how he's going to follow that up, and based on everything we've heard during this spring, it seems like Barkley is showing no signs of slowing down in 2025.
What are you seeing from Saquon, now that he's back after such a heavy workload this past season and everything, like just how he's looking? So
yeah, he's been great. I mean, he looks like the same guy. I mean, it's unbelievable how he's able to do that and continue to go day in and day out, and he looked in regular season mode yesterday running routes, so it was pretty cool.
I don't know how many touches I had or how many yards, but it doesn't feel like it. I feel really good. I feel like I'm entering my prime, so just got to continue, have the mindset of listening to everyone, buying into what they want me to do, and whatever they do, try to do it to the best of my ability.
Needless to say, that's all very exciting. I mean, for Barkley to say that he's now just entering his prime is definitely a bold claim, that's for sure. But if he can manage to sustain the level of play that he was at last year, even just around there, and again maintain that over the next several years, then that would just be insane, and the NFL better watch out. And the same thing goes for linebacker Zack Baun, as he's another guy who, sure, he had an absolutely historic season last year, but Even so, he feels like given another year in Vic Fangio's system and another year playing the inside linebacker position, that he can get even better than he already is, and he made that clear this past week at minicamp.
I'm driven internally to just be the best at whatever I'm trying to do. And then obviously watching tape from last year, like I had 150 tackles or whatever, but I'm like, but I missed 29 of them. You know, I could have had this, or I dropped this, or I could have punched at the ball here. So there's always stuff to get better at.
You're still new at this position. How much better can you get?
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
I mean, do you feel like there's a lot of room till your ceiling?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like you said, that was my first real year playing inside linebacker. You tell me.
I know it sounds crazy to say that someone who put up over 150 tackles and was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate last year can get even better than he already was, but like Baun alluded to, he still is very new at the inside linebacker position, having just switched there from edge rusher last year. And he's also new to playing in Vic Fangio's scheme, so given more time to learn and develop in those two areas, and I mean, the sky is really the limit as to what Baun can accomplish. And honestly, a similar thing goes for future Hall of Fame tackle Lane Johnson, as even though he very much is comfortable in his current position, of course having played there his whole career, and also having spent now 12 seasons under offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland, not to mention that Johnson is also 35 years old, he still seems to think that he's at the top of his game and his best years might still be ahead of him.
You know, now I feel like even though I'm 35, I feel like I'm better than when I was 30, 29, 30. I had the surgeries. And so the toughest year for me was the games that I missed in 21. You can clearly see on film, if you go back and watch it, I was very hindered with my left foot. So, and now, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm getting close to, you know, maybe my peak. So as weird as it is to say, but, you know, that's truly how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's crazy for a future Hall of Famer who's 35 years old to say that he's now just reaching his peak, but honestly, like, when you think about it, it's kind of hard to argue with that. Like, Lane has only gotten better with age, so I'm certainly not worried about any sort of drop-off in production over these next few years, and I'm personally excited to see what he can do this season, and specifically if he can make a run at the new Protector of the Year award, which is going to go to the league's best offensive lineman. Speaking of Lane, though, he also did make some other comments at minicamp that got me and many other Eagles fans fired up about some of the Birds' newest defensive players, as they've apparently really been impressing during the spring as well, and we'll start with the new addition at edge rusher in Joshua Uche, as when Lane was asked about who's been standing out the most among the edge rusher group, this was the first thing that he said.
Uche? Yeah, I remember playing Patriots really quick. You know, I think he's very versatile, what he can do.
Patriots game in 23, what stood out to you about Uche?
He made a good inside move to only beat me. Ball was gone, but just really quick. I think he plays really low, you know, for taller guys. He can get under you if you let him, but, you know, I think he's great in coverage, you know, just a multi-tool player. So, you know, I think he's going to help us.
I said this in a video not too long ago, but to hear Lane Johnson praise Uche like that only makes me even more excited about his potential. I mean, those comments gotta hold some weight, and I was already super excited about Uche in the first place, just considering that he had an 11.5 sack season in 2022, and he's just continued to have a great pressure rate. So again, these comments from Lane and the fact that Uche has been apparently impressing during minicamp and OTAs only gets me more excited to see what he can do this upcoming season. But Lane didn't stop there, as the next guy that he mentioned is also someone who I'm really excited about as well, that being fellow new edge rusher Azeez Ojulari. As Johnson noted that he played against him a lot in New York, and the fact that he mentioned him second, right up there with Uche, makes it seem like he's had a very impressive minicamp as well. And again, Ojulari is somebody who I am definitely excited about, given that he's put up good sack numbers in the past, and he's shown flashes of being a great edge rusher. He just has to stay healthy. So to hear that he's been off to a good start during the offseason is definitely a great sign. But Lane continued on, and the next guy that he brought up is, in my opinion, perhaps the biggest breakout candidate that the Birds have for the 2025 season, that being second-year edge rusher Jalyx Hunt.
And then I think Jalyx, I think this is going to be a big year for him. He has all the tools. He's gained some weight, so he's really, you know, I think it's going to be a really breakout year for him.
Yeah, I mean, all signs are certainly pointing towards Jalyx Hunt having a breakout season in 2025. I mean, last year as a rookie, he went from presumed long-term project to solid pass rusher and a real difference maker in the playoffs and Super Bowl. And now this season, he is set for a much bigger role, and he's already out here in the offseason, not just impressing Lane Johnson and making him think that this is going to be a breakout year for him, but he also got multiple sacks in practice during the spring, and he apparently also gave all-pro tackle Jordan Mailata fits in minicamp. So I personally just cannot wait to see what Hunt is going to do this year, and I honestly think he has the potential to get 8 to 10 sacks, but we'll see. Moving on though, along with Jalyx Hunt, there was one other Eagle that was also apparently frustrating Jordan Mailata during minicamp, that being fourth-year defensive tackle Jordan Davis, and he's another guy who has really impressed during this offseason, given that not only is he apparently in the best shape of his entire life, but defensive coordinator Vic Fangio also revealed that JD has drastically improved as a pass rusher going back to the back half of last season, and the numbers reflect that, and now Fangio says that he thinks Davis is going to carry that momentum into this season as well. So, while I don't expect JD to put up crazy numbers just because that's not really his role, I do expect him to take a step forward in his development, both in the amount of snaps that he plays, as I do expect to see a sizable uptick there, and also as a pass rusher, as again, he significantly improved in that area down the stretch of last season, and in the playoffs, he actually was first on the Eagles' entire defense in pressure rate, sitting at 13.8%. So again, I only expect his upward trajectory to continue going into this season. And I'd say the same thing about Davis' fellow defensive tackle Jalen Carter, as despite the fact that he's already one of the best defensive linemen in all of football, there's reason to think that he can get even better.
The word is on the street, he doesn't even know how to play the position yet. I'm listen, from some guys I talked to inside, he doesn't even know how to play the position yet. Wow. He's just playing off raw talent. Wow. So the sky's the limit for this kid, So I'm excited about his future.
I agree with the point he's trying to make. I do think Jalen, the good news about Jalen is twofold. One, he played very well for us last year, and two, he can still improve a lot.
I've talked about this multiple times in previous videos, so I'll make this quick, but I agree with those comments, as I've been saying that I think Carter still has a lot of room to grow, and especially now going into his second season in the same defense and his third year in the NFL, I think he'll be even more comfortable and in turn can be even better than he was last year. And maybe that could also come with an increase in sack numbers and he could land somewhere in that 8 to 10 sack range. But, again, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But moving on, we now have possibly the biggest standout from the Birds minicamp practice, that being cornerback Kelee Ringo, who of course is currently locked in a battle to win the starting corner job. And it seems like he's winning so far, as not only did he reveal that he's really been working on improving his technique and the details this offseason, but he also, again, really stood out during minicamp practice.
I thought Kelee Ringo had an outstanding day today. He had a touchdown breakup in the corner of the end zone. I think it was McKee to Terrace Marshall in the back corner of the end zone, but the throw was good. Terrace Marshall got up for it, and Kelee met him at the high point and knocked the ball away. And then his best play of the day might have been a play where he didn't even get targeted. It was 7-on-7. He was matched up 1-on-1 with AJ. When the ball came to Jalen, you could see he was looking at AJ. He wanted to go that way. But Kelee was stride for stride with AJ down the sideline and was right with him, and the ball wasn't thrown that way. So on the final day where he gets to impress coaches, I thought Kelee had a really strong practice.
It certainly does sound like Ringo has taken strides forward this offseason and is certainly on pace to win the starting job and hopefully thrive in that role this year. But now, all that said, these aren't the only guys who have made a statement during the offseason, as there were plenty more standouts from spring training which I could talk about that I just don't have time for in this video. So let me know down in the comments below if you want to see a part 2 to this video talking about, again, even more guys who impressed during the spring. I would love to make that video, so again, give me your input down in the comments, and also, while you're at it, make sure you guys subscribe and you turn on notifications, that way you don't miss any other Eagles coverage or content coming throughout this entire offseason and moving into this coming season. Again, you guys are not going to want to miss it, so subscribe, turn on notifications, and also drop a like down below to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton, guys. See if we can get to at least 500 likes on this video, and also, check out Bare Mattress. Again, the link will be down in the description. You can get 40% off using my code, so go do that right now. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this one out right here. And now with all that being said, that is pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.